I want to head over to some breaking news that we got earlier today, actually, and we just heard from officials about it. Take a look at this. A tweet from the mayor of Akron, Ohio, saying, "This morning our city is reeling after the devastation of senseless violence. With more than 24 victims, the pain and trauma reverberates across all of Akron today as we search for answers. As with all acts of violence, our hearts are with the victims and their loved ones." He goes on to say, "We will bring those responsible to justice, and we need the help of our community to do that. For those who have information about this horrific shooting, we need you to speak up in order to prevent further violence and retaliation. This can be done anonymously." And the mayor here is speaking on an overnight shooting that apparently happened at a street party in Akron, Ohio. One person killed due to that shooting and 24 others injured. Let's get to the latest press conference held by the police department investigating this next.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you all for coming. My name is Captain Michael Miller, and I'm the Public Information Officer for the Akron Police Department. We're here to provide you some updates in relation to a shooting which occurred just after midnight last night on Sunday, June 2nd, in the area of Kelly Avenue and 8th Avenue. You will be hearing from Akron Police Chief Brian Harding, Acting Fire Chief Stephen Kaut, Akron Mayor Shammas Malik. We will have time for a short Q&A at the end of the press conference. I ask that you please hold your questions until the very end. Thank you, and at this time I'd like to invite Police Chief Brian Harding to the stage.
Thank you, Captain Miller. Thank you and good evening. Last night at approximately 10 p.m., our patrol officers responded to a private residence on Kelly Avenue after reports of a large gathering which included fireworks and loud noise. Officers arrived on scene to a large birthday party with over approximately 200 individuals taking over the street. Officers dispatched the crowd and no arrests were made at that time. Between 10 and midnight, people began coming back to the scene and the party resumed. Just after midnight, patrol responded again to the same location on Kelly Avenue after the dispatch center received shots fired calls, as well as multiple gunshot victims arriving at area hospital emergency rooms. Between EMS and self-transports, it was later found that there had been 25 people total who were injured. We initially believed there were 27. That was because there were some duplicates with people going from one hospital and then ultimately going to another. Of the 25 victims, one 27-year-old male has been confirmed deceased. The latest update we have is that of the 25 victims, at least 2 remain in critical condition this evening, in addition to several who have been admitted with injuries and the one individual who sadly passed away. Some victims were treated and released from the hospital, and the victims range in age from 19 to 43, with most of the victims in their 30s. My heart goes out to each of the victims, and my prayers are with the loved ones of the deceased. The scene was littered with spent shell casings, mostly pistol caliber rounds stretching from Kelly Avenue and 8th Avenue all the way to Kelly and 7th. We recovered 2 handguns at the scene. Based on the layout of the spent shell casing, it appears consistent with someone driving by shooting out of a car. We believe that some individuals at the party may have returned fire based on physical evidence at the scene. We do not know if the shooter or the vehicle may have been hit. We have no description of the vehicle to provide at this time. We did recover a DVR system found in the area that was collected and processed. Unfortunately, there was no hard drive, so we were not able to get any footage from that. We continue to search for any additional video or evidence in the area. No arrests have been made yet, and we have no suspect information to provide. We are imploring the community to come forward with anything that you might know regarding this terrible incident. This information can be provided to us in several ways. First, anyone with any information is encouraged to call the Akron Police Department Detective Bureau at 330-375-2490 or 330-375-2TIP, TIP. Citizens may also provide anonymous information in any of the following ways. Summit County Crime Stoppers by calling 330-434-COPS, text TIPSCO with any tips to 274637, or download the Akron Police Department app and you can submit tips on our tip 411. These are also completely anonymous. I want to be clear, we believe there are people in the community this evening who saw something or know something, and we are asking them to come forward. We believe there were dozens of people at the party at the time of the shooting, and potentially over 100 people who may have witnessed the incident. Every single person who may have seen something has an obligation to speak up in order to bring those responsible to justice. Even a small detail can help us crack this case and locate the suspect or suspects involved. We have concerns about the possibility of retaliation and are taking steps to prevent that, and we need the community's help. I also want to thank the officers and detectives for their immediate and tireless work on this case. I'd also like to recognize the members of the Akron Fire Department who assisted our officers on the scene with transporting victims and helping to treat the wounded. At this time, I'd like to welcome up Acting Chief Stephen Cowell.
Thank you, Chief Hardy. Good evening. Early this morning, fire department crews responded to assist on the scene of a mass shooting. It's the type of call that you hope never to receive. I want to commend the paramedics, officers, EMTs on scene whose professionalism and skill assisted in the swift response and treatment. In total, we had more than 30 individuals from Akron Fire who responded, including 8 medical units, 2 fire engines, a ladder truck, 2 battalion captains, our department safety officer, and myself. I also want to commend the professionalism and expertise of our safety communications personnel throughout this incident. Their work ensured a quick response. The scene covered a large area, and it was chaotic upon our team's arrival. They quickly and efficiently triaged patients, prioritizing the treatment and transport of those in need of critical care. We train and practice often for events such as this, hoping to never have to do it in real life. But that practice was put into effect last night and led to the safe and fast transport of those needing care. I want to thank our area hospitals also for their quick work. SUMA, Cleveland Clinic, Akron General, Akron Children's Hospital, Western Reserve, and Barberton coordinated with our teams to respond and get everyone treated as quickly as possible. The collaboration I witnessed at the incident last night between the public safety forces and our hospital systems was admirable. I'd also like to acknowledge the Summit County Sheriff's Office for sending several deputies to our area hospitals, as well as the University of Akron Police Department for the same. And of course, each hospital system has their own police force who also responded to ensure the hospitals involved were safe to receive these critical care patients. Our crews did an outstanding job last night in their response. Their response was to take care of the public, and now it's our turn to take care of our own crews. These traumatic incidents can weigh heavily on those who respond. Today, we have been organizing our peer support team to speak with any of our paramedics, officers, or anyone involved in the incident about the incident. This peer support team is made up of trained officers and EMTs within our department who will assist our members who have experienced trauma. This support team has proven incredibly effective at helping safety force members work through traumatic incidents such as this. This peer support team will provide a bridge to get our personnel, our officers and firefighters, connected to more professional support if necessary. My prayers go out to all the victims and their families, as well as to our own public safety personnel who responded to this scene. At this time, I'd like to invite Mayor Malik to the podium.
Good evening. I want to start by sharing my condolences with the victim's family and friends. My heart goes out to the young man whose life was senselessly cut short and to everyone who was injured. This was a tragic incident which impacts our entire community. All incidents of gun violence are tragedies, but here the sheer number of victims is shocking and deeply concerning. We can only be thankful that of the 25 individuals who were injured, we did not have more fatalities. I'd like to echo the thanks of Chief Harding and Acting Chief Kaut to all our public safety forces who responded last night, including Akron Fire, Akron Police, as well as our local, state, and federal partners who have offered their support and assistance, including the Summit County Sheriff's Office. Thank you very much, Sheriff. We know that this country has a gun violence epidemic and that this is the latest in a long line of incidents we've seen across the nation. Safety is our administration's highest priority. The City of Akron and our Akron Police Department remain committed to fighting all violence, especially gun violence. I want to be very clear. Anyone who was involved in last night's shooting will be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. If there is any retaliatory violence committed as a result of this shooting, anyone engaging in that will be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law as well. Tonight, we are calling on our community to get involved. There are people out there who know the person or persons involved, and I implore you to speak up. As Chief Harding mentioned, to everyone who was present at the party at the time of the shooting, we need you to speak with police. You have an obligation to speak with police and help us solve this case. As he said, even the smallest detail can help us find the answer to this case. We have to find a solution to further violence. Tonight we are announcing that the Summit County Crime Stoppers have offered a $5,000 reward for any information that leads to the identification, arrest, and successful prosecution of a suspect in this case. Additionally, the U.S. Marshal's Office has offered up to $7,500 towards the same information. That leads to a total reward of $12,500 that's being offered. I want to thank Summit County Crime Stoppers and the U.S. Marshal's Office for their generous support. I'll repeat the tip line for anyone listening at home. You can call the Akron Police Department Detective Bureau at 330-375-2490 or 330-375-2TIP. Citizens may also provide anonymous information in the following ways. You can reach out to Summit County Crime Stoppers at 330-434-COPS or text TIP-SCO with your tips to 274-637. Or you can download the Akron Police Department app. You can submit information by texting TIP-411, which is a two-way communication process, or by accessing the link on our website, akroncops.org. We want to emphasize that all of those options I just mentioned are fully anonymous. We will share further updates in this case as they become available, and we hope to have a suspect and or arrest information to share with you all very soon. Before we get to question and answer, I'd like to also thank the elected officials who are here with us this evening to lend their support. We have Akron City Council Vice President Jeff Fusco, Akron City Council President Pro Tem Brad McKittrick, at-large Councilwoman Linda Mobian, at-large Councilman Eric Garrett, and Ward 5 Councilman Johnny Hanna. As I mentioned before, I'd also like to thank you, Sheriff Candy Fothery, for being here and for your office's support. And I want to thank all of the elected officials and other leaders who have reached out to me today to offer their support. And I appreciate everyone, and on behalf of our community, I appreciate the messages of support and encouragement.